off, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Let me just briefly introduce myself. My name is Victor Lang. I'm the VP of Enterprise Systems here at SmartBridge. I've been working with JD Edwards for about the past 15 years.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Today, Chakravarti Janga. Janga, can you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Victor. Hi, this is Chakravarti Janga. I'm the manager in the JD and SmartBridge. I have experience in multiple upgrades and implementations and conversions. I welcome all of you.
Thanks, Janga. Just to give you a little bit of information about SmartBridge here before we get started. We're basically a systems integration company. We're focused on just helping our clients succeed. Some of our core consulting areas include Oracle, JD Edwards. We do implementations, both functional and technical side of things, CNC managed services, and everything down to BI publisher conversions. We also specialize in data integration and business intelligence. So let me just quickly go over what we're going to talk about today. First, just a real level set of what a tools upgrade is. Some of the 9.1 toolset features, actual demonstration of the UI, and what the options you have when you look at upgrading to 9.1. Then we're going to go over one of the key features, which is OneBe Reporting. We'll provide you an overview of those features as well as a demo of that tool. So let's get started. So first off, what is a tools upgrade? Well, basically it's an infrastructure enhancement. We're looking at things that will improve your administration, including things that will improve your performance. And in this case, 9.1 provides quite a few UI functionality features. The good thing to know is there's no JD objects being changed that require retrofits. The other thing to know, though, is that there's no application functionality. So you only get that with an app upgrade. And typically, these are delivered every few months. The other thing to know is that you should definitely plan to upgrade and apply the tools because this will keep you on the latest technology stack. And many times when the technology stacks change or new operating system versions are released, you'll need to take a tools upgrade to maintain that level of support. There are several benefits. There's performance enhancements, there's UI features, and definitely administrative tools. This will definitely make life easier for you CNC administrators because you'll see that some of the tools that are being provided will make future tool installations much easier. And just in short, they're not that difficult. So, you really should plan and consider taking them because, like I said, there are no retrofits. So the time that it takes to actually install one should be fairly quick. So what's all included in the 9.1 toolset? Well, as I mentioned before, there's some major user interface changes that we're going to demo for you today. You'll see that there's lots of nice things like EnterpriseOne pages and the carousel navigation that will really improve your user productivity. And then there's the technology stack improvements. These are administrative tools that can really help you in future installs. You look at the Enhanced Server Manager. It lets you know what installations of the tools you have on your different environments. There's the Custom Object Analyzer. It's going to really help you to understand what customizations have been done to your system and provide you some really detailed reports on that. And if you're one of the users that are leveraging BI Publisher, it's good to know that in some cases, it's improving the speed up to 8 times on some of those BI Publisher reports. So all these things are going to be very nice to your environment and really help you. But you have to make sure you plan properly when you take advantage of it. You have to understand you have more than one option when you look at tools upgrades. You could do a tools only upgrade. This is a very effective and efficient manner because you're only looking at installing the new 9.1 tools. So it should be minimal testing and it provides the new user experience and performance improvements. But if you're looking at taking advantage of some of the other features that come with an app upgrade, you may want to consider installing both the app upgrade and the tools as a project that's done together. If you're looking at doing that, there are several things that are included in the 9.1 app upgrade that you may want to consider using. That includes voucher match automation, some new sales order rules, specific industry type functionality for real estate management related to cash receipts. So there's some new functionality included with the upgrade that you may want to consider. If you want to use those, then you may want to do an upgrade for both the app and tools. But keep in mind, if you do that, it's a more complicated project because you may have to take into account certain retrofits. Other things that you may want to consider. When you look at the different scenarios that are involved with an upgrade, you have to understand your architectural environment. If you have a very distinct environment where you have a separate path code for DB, PY, QA, and PD, it actually lowers the complexity because you can take a test bed environment, apply the 9.1 tools, and use it as a testing site and understand what the features and functionality are. You also allow your users the ability to interact with it in a non-production environment so they can understand the features. This definitely will help improve the user buy-in if they like the features and get you some more buzz with the user community. If you have an all-in-one environment, it gets a little bit more complicated because once you apply that tools release, it's impacting your production environment immediately. So we highly recommend that you create a separate test bed and allow your users and your developers to experiment with it first. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start the demo. Jenga, why don't you show us what UI has for us to offer?
Thank you, Victor. Hi. I'll quickly take you through a demo of 9.0 with the tools 9.1. Let me start off with saying this tools upgrade is the best thing that could happen to JDE EnterpriseOne. You might have heard a lot of noise around in your organizations where JDE is not compatible with this and the UI is not good and that kind of stuff. And Oracle will try to answer all those questions and probably take it forward into the future. So as you look at the screen, you see all the fonts have been changed, the colors, the banners, and the tabs. They all look very crisp and modern. Oracle brought a lot of Fusion UI features into JDE EnterpriseOne, and they designed it based on their rich text user experience platform. Some of the big features that has changed, as you see on this login screen, you see a tab bar on top, which is the EnterpriseOne pages, where you can have tabs for each business process that you have in the system, and you can convert your whole menu a user uses to a business process. And the only thing, it is not a typical workflow, but it will at least help you define what you want to do, what the user wants to do, either running an application or running a UBE, or you can even link other external HTML pages, like in this case we have Oracle website, or if you have any HTML-based applications that run in your organization, you can put that link over here so that the user has a one-place shop for all the stuff that they do in their day-to-day activities. Even with all these features, it has zero impact on the login time, and the UI is very resolution aware, where you don't see too many horizontal scroll bars or the vertical scroll bars. As you resize your screen or as you change the resolution, the UI is very much resolution aware and it shows a crisp look. And some of the features that you can take advantage is having a business process, and as a user, when they look at this, it looks very neat, and as you hover on each of those blocks, it highlights so that it lets you know what you are looking at or what you are running right now. The next feature that is available in this new tool is the menu toolbar, where you notice that the left side, Oracle took out the left side pane where you have the traditional menu and now made it a more more web-based traditional menu option, where you can browse through each of the different tasks you have and get to the application you want to. This is a standard Oracle installation, and that's why you see all the EnterpriseOne menus all the way down. Once you have your installed in your organization, and you can have a menu for your particular role, and once the user log in, they will see only those tasks that they can go to. Let me quickly open Item Master update application. just to show you how easy it is to go there and open it. As you see, there is nothing changed on the application side itself. So your item master browse application that you see in the older release is the same as the new release. The only change is the fonts and the colors and that kind of stuff. There is no functionality change within the application itself. And whenever you open an application from the menu, you can see the menu breadcrumb on top of here. So the user can go to anywhere in the menu to again open the next application. In this case, I'm trying to open the cost results. As you do this, you have other options on the menu. You have open applications link where you can see all the open applications. You have recent reports. It will show you all the recent reports that you ran, and you can see the favorites from there. And within the favorites, there's a new feature where you can add subfolders within favorites so that you can organize your favorites just like how you organize in an Internet Explorer or other browser sessions. The next big feature is the carousel that you see on the bottom. In this particular view, you are seeing it at the bottom, and you can actually move the carousel to the left or to the right. When you move to the left or to the right, it will show you in a list fashion, and when you move it, if you actually park it to the bottom, you will see in a tile fashion. This is more in line with using the software on iPads or any other tablets, where you can flick around using your regular finger swipes and stuff. And in the carousel itself, you have Open Applications tab, you have Recent Reports tab, and you have Favorites tab. So all the things, all the items that you see here will be the same as in the menu. So this will be very much useful when you're using a tablet to access JD AdWords. So and as I close the applications, you can only see my item master application is up and running right now. And in each of these tabs, you have these listed as tiles. And as you hover on each of the tiles, you will see more details on what it is that is open. Like if you go into recent reports and hover on a tile, it will show you the report version, the status, the date submitted, and last modified thing. And the other nice feature that we have is you can, based on how the user wants to see, they can see smaller names, longer names, or they can see the actual report name, or they can see in the forms, if you see it has shown the actual form name. So depending on what type of user it is, if it's a power user or a user who likes more, not use JD nomenclature, but they're used to more name-based, they can use this view. And from the reports, we have an easy access to open a report. So in this particular report, I have a business unit master report. I click on it, and I can quickly access the PDF output of that report. And all the tiles in the recent reports are color coded. So as you see, there are all my reports that I ran are in green. That notifies that they are all in done status. I'll quickly show you how a report works as it runs behind the scenes. So you have different colors annotated so that the user knows exactly what is the status of the report. So I'll quickly run another business unit master report. You can see once I run this report, a new tiles appears in my recent reports, and it's in blue status. That means blue indicates that it's still under processing, and red, if for any reason the report failed, the red it turns red, and it indicates that the report ended in an error. And now you can see my report completed successfully, and it changed the color to green. So I can click that icon on, and I can open my PDF. How easy it is. I think all the users will love this, especially for all the demos that I have done so far. This is one of the biggest features that the users like, because right now if they want to access any report, they have to go through work submitted jobs and look for the report, and depending on how their application is sorted, and it will be very tough. And right now it's in the new tools, it's very intuitive, and they can easily go through their report outputs. The next tab we can talk about is the favorites. In the favorites, as you see, the favorites in the carousel and the favorites in the menu are the same, but on the menu it's a listed format, and here it's a tile format in the carousel. And as you see, I have some folders added in my favorites. I have a reports folder where I can store all my reports, favorites, and if I can add an applications folder where I can store all my applications. Or you can add your whole task list to the favorites, so that you can take a user's task and put it into the favorites, and they can see, or they can access all the applications or reports that are there in the tasks from here. As you hover on each of those, it will show you all the details of all the different tasks that are in the task list, and also the list of items that are in the custom stuff. The other big thing, so after these major upgrades that were done to the front page, some of the big changes that were done to the application itself is the advanced queries. In the current toolset or the older toolset, we have queries, but they are not that intuitive to run those queries. As you see right now, I can quickly show you how the queries work. Like, you have an advanced query where you can set up on any application, and it's very easy to add columns. Like, you can just click on the plus signs that are above the QBE to quickly add them to yours, and you can set all the different selection that you want to. You can see it's a long list of operands that are added to this advanced query management. Yeah, and we didn't have all these options in the previous releases. And the other option that we have is you can set a query as default by selecting this checkbox, and you can set the query to run it on selection when you open this particular application. In this particular application, I have a query named CJ test, and it's set to run on default, and it's set to run the actual query itself when I open this application. So let me quickly save this and show you how I'll close this application, and when I come back, it will rerun that same application for me with the query that I selected. As you can see here, I set the query to show me everything that has a byte in the descriptions, and it automatically ran that query, and it showed me all the data that is there in the query. And you can choose as many queries as you want, and you can change between queries by, if you have multiple queries, all of them will be listed here, and you can change that, or you can see all the records that you want to see, and it will automatically run it for you. The other things that are changed on the grid itself are you have more easier functionality to hide and unhide columns, to move columns around, and to resize columns, and the freeze and unfreeze. I love the freeze and unfreeze, where you can freeze a column just like you do in Excel. You right click on the header and click on freeze, so it freezes. In this case, I'm freezing at a description so that I can browse through all the rest of the columns. How cool that is. I know this would be a big advantage when you have a demo with the users where they see all this kind of stuff and they really love this. Another option we talked about is the hide and unhide button. Like, I'm trying to hide the description too because I don't want it. I can just click on that, right click on that, and hide it. I can hide the sales category code, and this gives you an easy way to look at the data. And if you want to unhide them, you can just right click on the header, and you can click on unhide, and it lets you select what columns you want to unhide. So I'll just unhide both the columns that I've hidden before, and it will render the same thing back to you. And I want to remove the freeze. You again right click on the header and then click on unfreeze. It unfreezes the column that you have frozen before. And you can easily resize the columns by just dragging them. You can drag and drop a column by clicking on that and dragging it around to wherever you want to, and you can save your format that you want. And you can have multiple formats, you can use the option to show all the columns where it will go to the default format and how the application is actually built. And the other features that you get with 9.1 is, especially if you are on the 9.1 apps, you have a hover functionality where you can build a hover link on the item number here, and it can show you your much details on the item. Like in most cases, generally, if you take an item, you would show its image, you would show its quantity on hand. If you're especially on a business unit item branch application, that kind of stuff, which gives which adds a lot of functionality to the grid itself, so that it's very intuitive and the users can have all the information at their fingertips, and it's easily accessible with less number of clicks on the keyboard. The other things that you can get with 9.1 is OneView reports. OneView is one other best application that was added to Oracle. Oracle added to JD Edwards, and it's very easy, very intuitive reporting solution for the end users. And as you see, I have a OneView icon over here. So any user who is assigned to OneView reporting will have access to OneView, and we will talk more about that in detail in the later stages of this demo. And Victor will give you a little bit more explanation on what is included in 9.1 and take us into the OneView reports.
Thanks, Jenga. So I want to let you guys know that if you have any questions regarding some of these features that we're demoing, or just any questions in general regarding a tools upgrade, feel free to type your questions into the chat window or the questions window. What we're going to do is we're going to compile all of your questions, and we'll respond to you via email after the presentation is over. And I know there are a lot of nice features, and we weren't able to know everything in detail, so just feel free to ask questions if you have any, and we'll follow up on them. Also wanted to give you a quick view of what the technical requirements are in order to apply the 9.1 tool set. You'll understand that you can no longer use Oracle Application Server. It's not supported with 9.1 tools. You're going to have to move to WebLogic. In my opinion, WebLogic is actually a better application server, so you're getting a benefit there, but you'll have to actually switch if you're not already on it. Most of this information will be available to you on the Oracle website as well. So just to recap really quick on the tools upgrade and how you should go about it, like I said, there are two options. You can do a full app upgrade and a tools upgrade. One nice thing to know, though, is that the tools as of 9.0 is backwards compatible. So if you don't want to do an app and tools upgrade, you can do only a tools upgrade if you're on the JD 9.0 platform. The best thing to do is assess what requirements you want, what features you want. Do you want to take advantage of some of the application features? Are you solely interested in mostly the tools features? Understand what your environment is and what the impact of that is to your environment and what levels of tools that you're on. And then most importantly, can't stress this enough, but make sure you plan for time to train. Because of all these new UI features, and including the OneVe reporting, which we'll talk about soon, there's going to be a lot of impact to your user community, and you want to make sure you have time to train them properly. So let's move on to OneVe reporting. This is one of the, I think, nicest features that's coming with this 9.1 tools release, because it provides you the ability to have your end user community provide some of their own self-service reporting. You know, there's all kinds of reporting that's currently available to you. You have your standard UBE reports, you have BI publisher reports, you have online inquiry, but this is really circling things around, allowing the end user to do some of their own querying and reporting by themselves. So what really comes with OneVe reporting? Well, it's a combination of the query apps, reports, and foundation. It basically allows users to create their own reports, either personal reports that they only see themselves, or share those reports and make them public with others. Many of our clients, they have third-party reporting solutions. Basically, they need to be able to provide users the ability to do some of their own advanced queries and create some of their own reports. So they had to go to a third party to do that. Well, with OneBe Reporting, you may consider replacing some of those tools because it does a lot of those things that those third-party tools do now. It's fully integrated with EnterpriseOne, so they have access to all data, but it's also integrated in the fact that it uses the security, the role-based security that you have applied within EnterpriseOne. So only users with the proper security can view the data that they're supposed to see. They provide interactive and dynamic reports, and it's iPad compatible. So if you're going mobile, OneView reports work with that. So we're going to go into the next set of reports that come with OneView, and then Jenga is going to demo them shortly. So you'll see what the advantages are with OneView reporting. Jenga?
Thanks, Victor. Let me, in this slide you see that OneView reports are available across the board in all the different modules that we have in JD AdWords. And you can use the OneView reports from a standard EnterpriseOne application or from the data browser where you can select a table or a view and have OneView reports on them. Or you can also use them on your custom applications and tables that you have built for your specific organization. And OneView reports are all based on the Oracle BI Publisher Foundation. So the OneView Foundation sits on top of the BI Publisher Foundation so that it can leverage all the strong features that you have in BI to create charts or tables and do whatever stuff you want to do based on the needs of your organization. And it is also available in multiple formats. You can have a OneView report on a standard web browser, or you can create it in a Word format or Excel or PDF format and XML format. There are a bunch of formats that I will show you in a little while to how OneView reports can be accessed. And the good thing about this is Oracle has already pre-built hundreds of OneView reports based on standard business processes that are available in JD AdWords. And most of this business process will comply with what a general organization would use JD AdWords for. If you need more customization, you can leverage the existing report and create a copy of it and modify to your business needs and use it. And I'll quickly show you how you can run a report, how you can modify a report, how you can add a report, and what needs to be done to publish a report that you have created to the whole organization. Let me go back into JD AdWords. As you see here, I will quickly demo a customer ledger inquiry report where JD AdWords Oracle provided a bunch of reports, and I will quickly use one of those reports to copy and create my own report and make changes, and it's very intuitive. And OneView reports are primarily focused for end users, and the report creation and the report modification can be easily done by the end users. And a little bit complexity is in, if you want more complex reports, you can train the power users to do that. And I don't foresee any IT involvement other than setting up the environment for the power users and the end users to leverage the reports. So in this particular example, I will show you how to run a report. I have a OneView customer ledger and query application that comes built in with the EnterpriseOne install. And as you see, OneView reports can be set up for a user or for a role. So if a user has access to OneView reports, they will see the OneView icon here besides the tools icon on all the find browse applications that we have, and on the data browser if they have access to data browser. And if you click on the OneView reports, it will quickly list all the reports that you have. And in the My Reports section, it will show reports that are personal to you. The next section is the reports that are common and are to everybody in the organization who has OneView access. And you have links to add a report and manage a report. So let's quickly run the open invoices report. As I click on it, it calls the BI publisher engine to report. It basically takes the data from the grid that you currently have, pushes the data to the BI publisher engine so that it can create the report in the format that it was predefined in, and it displays on the web browser. This is the standard way of looking at a report, and as you see some nice graphs and the data that are related to the graphs above, and you see a pie chart and the actual data that it's used to generate all the charts on top of it. And as you can see, all this data, once you get this data, you can export it, or you can sort it based on how you want to sort it, or you can set a filter on the table to show you only the data that you're looking for. And as you change the data in this table, the graphs above will change to reflect the new data set that it used to pull the reports. And the biggest feature that I really like is the interactive mode in which the report runs. By default, all OneView reports run in an interactive mode. So any of these on the graphs, you can select, like in this example, I'm looking to see all the open invoices for Creekside Warehouse. And as I click on it, it shows me data only related to Creekside's warehouse. And all the charts and my table, everything changes to only show me Creekside's warehouse. And you can go back up, you can clear the selection and select something else. Like I'm looking for capital system invoice, open invoices, and it shows me. This is a quick example. You can do a lot of stuff like this. You can have pivot tables. You can add more logic into each of these in the columns in the application in this particular report. And I will show you some of the features as time permitting when we add a report or modify a report. So how nice is this? I guess once you show this as a demo to users, you will have a lot of feedback, and good feedback in fact, and they'll be very interested in looking at it. The next thing we would look at how you manage your reports. As I've shown you, I have just run a OneView report as it was built in a standard way where it shows data on the screen. Now, say for example, you want to run that same report that we ran, the open invoices report in PDF, like let's take Word format. So you go into the manage reports, click on the open invoices, and here on the right side it gives you options to select the format, and also it gives you options what set of data you want to retrieve. Either you retrieve the top 500 records, or you retrieve the current data that you have in the grid, or you retrieve all the data that's sitting in the table. So in this particular example, I leave it as how it is defined, and I'll click on the Word format. You will see that the same report that we have seen earlier in a web page, now it will open up in a Word format. And you can save it off, and you can distribute it in your organization for easy view. And the number of, as you have seen in the previous screen, there are a lot of formats. You have a Word format, you have an Excel format, you have PDF, you have XML format, and you can even create big image out of this. As you see now, it's the same. In this format, it's not interactive because it's already published onto the Word document, and you can, as you see, you can see the data that it's used to generate those files, those graphs on top, and the pie chart. And since I have selected top 500 rows, it lists all the data that's there in those 500 rows, and you can export this and save it off and send it to other people in your organization to make good decisions based on the data that you see here. So the next thing, we'll look at how you can modify a report. In this particular example, I will modify the open invoices report to change the view of my graph. So you can go into Manage Reports, click on the Open Invoices report, and first thing you have to do is any report that is published out to the organization, you cannot modify that particular report. you have to make a copy of it and then modify it. So in this open invoices report, I'll quickly make a copy of it. And just as you copy, the best practice is to put your username first and then give a name to the report so that you know it's a report created by you and you can easily identify it in your reports list. So after I copy the report, now you see the report that I copied came up in the My Report section, and I can run it from here, which runs exactly like the actual open invoice report. But I want to modify it a little bit, so I can go back to My Report section, select that report, and click on the Edit Layout section, which lets me edit the report itself. And as you see here, now you see the Oracle BI Publisher Enterprise, because the OneBe Reporting sits on the foundation, sits on the EnterpriseOne BI Publisher Foundation. So it's lets me edit it. And as you see on the screen, you have a left side pane for all the data sources, basically all the columns that you added in the report. The right side pane shows you the formatting that you can do on the report. In this particular example, I want to change the type of graph I have. I can change the style. I can quickly take any of the pre-build. I can probably go to Earth just to be more Earth friendly. And so you can as you are making these modifications, it already has data that it pulled up when this particular report is set up, so you can see those. Same thing, you can I'll show you an example of how you can probably, I want to change the logo. You can click on, select the logo that I want to change, delete it, and make sure you're hovering back on the same place, and you can insert a different image. In this case, I will insert a SmartBridge logo onto this. You can browse the see my logo came up over there. Now I go and save the report. Once my report is saved, you just close the browser, so that, just remember, never sign out. The sign out will actually, you have to again sign back into JD Edwards, because the BI Publisher and the JD Edwards UI are both interlinked. So just close the window and you are out of that update, and since you already saved it, now you go back and run your report. Now when you run your report, you will see all the changes that you have done. And most of the changes are very easy and very intuitive, and as you see, it's just mostly it's drag and drop, and any end user can easily do it. And now you see it's the same set of data with my graphs that you see, and the logo is changed from Oracle to SmartBridge logo. And there are a lot of other features that unfortunately we cannot demo at this point due to the time limits that we have. The next thing I would like to show is how you can add a column to a report. Say, for example, in the same report that we have, you want to add a column to the report. You go back into the report and go into report definitions, where it will show you all the columns that you have, and probably you want to delete some of those columns so that you have enough place. I will add a physical year at the end, just to do a quick demo. You add the column, save the report, yes, ask it to replace the data model, yes, it tells you that you have to change the layout of the columns on the report. You do OK, and it automatically brings up the BI Publisher window, because it will force you to change the report content since you added more columns. And I think I deleted too many columns. So basically your new column that you see here comes up on the left side pane on the bottom, and you can drag and drop it into the table that you previously had, and then save it and rerun it. Now you will see the new physical year. Close that. And the next thing that I would like to show you is how easy it is to add a report. You can click on the OneView icon, and we have an add report functionality. Click on the report. It lets you it lets you select the column titles. Either you can use the column titles as they show in the application itself, or you can use the data dictionary item names that are associated to each of the item fields that you select on the report. And you can set it to the retrieval method, whether a top record count or current data on the grid, or retrieve all records. So I will quickly add GL date, company number, company name, and open amount. Open amount, save the report, give it a name, and it will automatically pull up the BI publisher window where it will let you edit the report. And now you see, since I didn't have anything on here, my BI publisher returned me a blank layout. You have to go and add a new layout. So I click on the add new layout button on the left and select what the type of layouts you already have. You can start off with blank, or you can create shared templates. I will create a chart and a table template so that I can put a chart and a table in my report. Once I go in, I can change the layout. I can change the report by just double clicking on it. So you can use the font, change the font, and all the stuff that you can do on a standard reporting. If you have used BI Publisher before, you can easily understand. So what I'm doing right here, it's very intuitive. So, and now I want to display a graph. I want to show a graph by company and by open amount. So I'll put the company name at the bottom in the horizontal location and the open amounts on top. And you can select a column and just drop it into it. And as you see, since I selected only one company in this data selection, it just showed me one company over here in the graphs. And now when I go to the table, I can add all the columns that I want to just by dragging and dropping into the table. The good thing you see here is you already have the data that is coming up. So as you are building the report, you're actually doing a unit test and just making sure that the data is coming up and all that kind of stuff. So let me save this report. Give a name to the layout. The general practice is always give the same name as the report to the layout if you are planning to only use one layout. You can use multiple layouts for the same report. And so in this case, I just save the layout. And once you are done, I guess I get too many names here. Yeah, my naming is too long. So once I lay out, just close the window, and when you go back to your OneView reports, you will see the report that you just created in the My Report section, and you can run it by selecting on it. Now, once you have created the report and you are good and you want to make this available to the whole organization, you can publish that report, and you can request permission to publish the report, and anybody who has access and permissions to to approve that publish can go into OneView system maintenance and approve the promotion. Then it will be available for everybody in the company. So I will go back to the new report that I just created. And into the report definitions. Yeah, I can use this option, the promote report option, which adds a request that you want to promote a report, and anybody who has access to the security to allow that promotion would go into the OneView application and system administration application and approve the promotion to be able to allow. I think time permitting, I would have shown you a lot more. Within the time limit, I tried to quickly give you a brief introduction of how to run a report, modify it, and create a new report. Thank you very much. Victor, back to you.
Thanks, Jenga. That was a great demonstration there. Just wanted to recap very quickly that you can ask any questions and we'll try to respond to them later. I'm sorry that Jenga was not able to show you everything that comes with OneView, but as you can see, it is a very powerful feature. And I would like to stress that because of the different things that users can do from a self-service perspective, that when you decide that you want to use OneView reports in your environment, make sure you plan to train your users sufficiently and have your power users exposed to this as soon as possible. So in short, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this webinar. Hopefully it was beneficial to you. I'd also like to let you know that you are free to contact us if you have any questions. We'll also be at Collaborate, and if you'd like to meet with us at Collaborate, feel free to reach out to me. I'd also like to announce that we have a series of new content coming out soon for advanced integration with JD Edwards. This will be on business services and real-time events, so you can really take advantage of a service-oriented architecture. Look for that coming in May. Again, thank you everyone for attending this webinar.
Thank you, everyone.